Hello traders, hello everyone, and welcome to our new video analysis. As you know, we skipped the webinar yesterday because I'm mostly offline this week. Had to take care of a few stuff before leaving for London on Thursday, but still decided to record this free video because I know that we have a very important week in front of us. As you know, tomorrow it's going to be the Fed rate decision, so Powell will most likely cut rates, which is expected also by the market. But keep in mind that even now when we have this a lot of expectations that cuts will really be delivered, that most of the important moves in the markets, big moves, comes when markets does not meet the expectations, right? So if something happens here, if maybe Powell will stay in hold, or let's say that they once again won't be sure if they want to cut on the next meeting, then market could see some very big important turns here. But before we go to some of the wave counts here, let me just remind you that 8cap, as you know, is sponsor of our videos, of our webinars as well. So basically they launched challenging, it's like the prop style funding challenge, the classic evaluation where you pass the steps, you get access to a funded account. That's for traders who want like long-term capital. Maybe they don't have enough cash to trade on their own, and you want to avoid trading small accounts like 250 or $500 accounts. Instead, you can use this fee to apply for this challenging account, and if you will be successful, if you will um, reach your goal, you will get funded, and that's when you could make money from that profits. Also, they launched day trader as well. So day trader, you just, it's like a challenge for intraday traders. It's more for um, experienced traders, I would say. And if you know how to day trade, okay, be very fast in and out, then of course maybe that's also something to watch for. So you just select your stake, multiply, and whenever your profit target is reached based on, of course, different rules, you can earn money. So that's for 8cap, and link for this challenging is under description of this video. Now let's take a look on some of the wave counts here. So as I said, Fed rate cuts are already priced in the markets. That's why we have seen this reversal to the downside. At the same time, obviously, stocks moved higher as well. But now the question is how the market will react. The fact is that if the rate cut is already being priced in, then once they finally deliver the cut, market could see, dollar itself could see some temporary rebound. So that's something that we have to consider. Also, this rebound could come, especially if when Powell will start answering questions. If there will be any doubts that they will cut again in the next meeting, you could see some rebound. But technically, this could be only temporary rebound. Keep in mind that in the past few weeks, we have been tracking two different interpretations. Either we have seen wave C of an ending diagonal here, wave C ending diagonal of this ABC correction right into the previous resistance levels, or maybe that was a leading diagonal already puts in low in place, and we are now just in a temporary pullback. But what's important the most, at least for me now, is that we have this aggressive sell-off that occurred over the last few weeks, 2 weeks or so. And also we have still this unfilled gap from October. So I think that there is a chance that we will see more weakness after a rebound here. So maybe after dust will settle, we will see some market moves in both directions, which usually is the case. And once the dust will settle, and when in the remaining part of the week we will get some new data coming out, that's when dollar could once again, after some rebound, continue to the downside. It's also very important what's happening on stocks. I mean, here we are looking at the Nasdaq 100. It has seen a very nice push out of this corrective channel. Looks like that we could be seeing more upside into wave 5. But as I said, maybe Powell could be a bit of more hawkish rather than dovish for the next rate decisions, and this could cause some pullbacks, but again, only temporary within uptrend. We can also see that not only Nasdaq, that we have also here the S&P 500 also making a very nice, beautiful rebound from that futures gap from October 10 that was filled, and now we are reversing higher. So I still think that 7K could be seen, and the current consolidation is not really surprised here. Keep in mind that it's the last month of the year, and we have seen a very nice sizable move so far in the last few weeks. So it's definitely some profit taking going on, especially ahead of such a very important key event, and that's also visible through the price itself. We can see some pullback. Maybe this broken trend line could be a very nice support on dip around 6,800. That's something that I would pay a very close attention. So maybe Powell will not convince markets they want to cut further. You will basically see then stocks pulling back a bit when the US dollar will rise with the US yields, and that's when we finally could see the S&P 500 making this pullback, corrective one before market resumes later on, I believe towards 7K. So Christmas rally could still be happening then in a few weeks. Also looking at the euro dollar, this market is basically at the triangle pivot area here around 1.1680, but I think that there is a chance for more upside into these swing resistance levels from October of this year. But keep in mind that we are in ABC recovery within this triangle, and each leg within a triangle should be made by three subwaves. So if that's the case, then it will be limited upside, and we are still missing that wave before finally we could see a push to the upside. Keep in mind that there were some rumors that and speculations that the next move by the ECB could be actually hawkish, right? And if that's going to be the case, then after the dust will settle following the Fed rate decision, then again ECB and other stuff will come under spotlight, and that's when we could see again market trying to resume what has previously happening. So maybe that's still a triangle that will at some point take us even higher here, especially now when stocks could also stay in uptrend. Now, what if, let's say, what if Powell will not bring cuts? Uh, and maybe obviously will not maybe convince markets that they will cut in next meetings. What then? Well, in such case, you will see that US yields will move significantly to the upside, and then watch out for dollar yen, because dollar yen itself is quite in strong recovery mode. And keep in mind that even on some speculation that Japan should hike rates, the market just stabilized recently at some key support here around 154.40 or so, and we still didn't see a retest of the January 10 highs. So suddenly dollar will be very strong tomorrow. Watch dollar yen, because then I think that this one could see really a retest of these highs, which I think could be very important resistance to limit some upside, and then we see some reversal later on when finally Japan could take some actions, okay, and we avoid some speculations, because actions matters, and if they will hike rates, if they will maybe even intervene, who knows, because they certainly understand, they even discussed about this today, that they are obviously watching rates because of inflation. So at some point they will try to turn this trend around, but I'm not sure if we are at this point just yet. Firstly, they certainly want to see how the market will respond to the Fed rate policy decision, and then they will Japan will take the necessary actions with a bit of delay. Now, also, when we are now in a risk on mode, what is important is maybe look at commodity currencies. As you know, we have seen a very nice reversal on commodity currencies. As you know, we have been looking at the correlations between this Aussie and the S&P 500 itself. We have seen a very nice bottoms at the same time, and now we are reversing higher. We are breaking this corrective channel resistance line, and always when you had previously a triangle in the middle of this pullback, that's why we basically was looking for a correction, but for a whole corrective pullback to be limited, because the triangle cannot occur in a wave two, let's say, right? So that's why we expected a bounce from away from that previous swing support, and that's a very nice strong push to the upside. However, we are now at the upper side of this triangle, previous triangle range, so maybe some back and forth moves could happen, especially if, as I said, Powell will maybe a bit of more hawkish rather than dovish, and then dollar could rise a bit and Aussie could come lower into this potential support area before we see next major move to the upside. Also, Kiwi, very nice patterns there. I mean, we broke out of this wedge formation that we discussed in the past, and now we are already retesting these highs from zero. That's basically 0.58 from the end of October. So some resistance here certainly could be very important, but if you see some pullback, could be temporary before market moves even higher. So that's the pattern where I would say a clear formations. Okay, when you have previously a counter trend retracement and then impulsive reversal with the broken channels, okay, or broken ending diagonals. So I think that after pullbacks, it may not be a bad idea to keep an eye on the structures because that's when opportunities could show up. Looking at gold, well, gold is still in uptrend. We are looking here at the daily time frame. As you know, silver has outperformed gold recently, but I think that metals will stay in uptrend. But maybe it's not the perfect time maybe to look at the opportunities here. Silver is at the highs, gold is still just consolidating, and whenever we want to look for some opportunities, we obviously want to see this consolidation nearing the completion. And if you look at the current higher degree wave 4 and compare it to the previous wave 4, you can see that it's much smaller based in time. So that's why I think it's still incomplete and we have room for more sideways price action rather than a straight push to the upside, especially if you also consider that that's a wave 4 of the higher degree impulsive trend here. But why I think that more upside could be coming after some pause that is happening now is because this drop has been in three waves, and because this drop has been in three waves, we don't know that either that was maybe a completed correction or part of a complex correction. I'm looking to be a part of a complex correction because this was also some overlapping price action here, right? And we are now struggling at the 78.6%. So of course markets are waiting what will happen during after the Fed's rate decision. But I think that if we get some weakness, that could be nice potential support around 4,100, which could be this trend line that matters. But if you see this trend line broken, then watch out for potential 4K. But even 4K is still fine for this triangle to unfold later on. If we see a straight push to the upside here, then of course we will have to look at some different interpretations, and in such case maybe even diagonal. I know it's a bit tough and early call here, I certainly realize that, but because that was a free legs up from the beginning of that trend from October lows, that's why I think that it's worth to consider could be an ending diagonal where each leg is made by three subwaves, right? So still looking for more upside but with different approach here. But when it comes to trading, of course, I would prefer to just wait and let's see if we can get a triangle. Then much better opportunities could show up, and maybe even from better lower support levels. Now finally, let's take a look on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in a downtrend. We have seen a retest of 4K, still trading below the channel resistance line, still not overlapping the previous sub wave 2 here. So there's still a chance that it's a bear flag, and if that flag is broken, just be aware of more weakness here. And what is the main concern here, at least for me, is that even with stocks being doing such a good thing for the last few weeks, somehow Bitcoin is just struggling. Yes, it's stabilizing a bit, but if stocks will now pull back, if maybe Paul will not be that dovish, then of course you could see that even Bitcoin itself could see much more weakness. I'm still in the camp that much better, more important support could be around 74K for a rebound here. Also, MicroStrategy, as you know, who is buying Bitcoin each day, it's still basically in a downtrend. I mean, that was a pretty big sell of 70% or so. So definitely in stage of some kind of a fear. But if you look at the wave structure here, really not at the key support levels yet. Maybe former wave 4 is something to watch for. So 116 after this wave 4 rally could be seen. And ideally, that's also the perfect time when Bitcoin itself could bottom down here at around 74K. Okay, if something happens here, if we finally get an overlap with 99K, then I think that wave B has already started. Um, Also, MicroStrategy, and not only this one, I mean, Coinbase is also very important. Here, this one also maybe still not finished this ABC correction. Watch out this unfilled gap from earnings back in May that were released back in at the end of May, I believe. So that could be the filled gap, and then we see a reversal. So even this one itself shows that maybe Bitcoin could stay in this downtrend. It's not really that's the price actions and markets and intermarket analysis that maybe it's not really confirming that we are completely bottoming on Bitcoin just yet. So Coinbase, MicroStrategy, these are also the two that you can find under stocks. As you know, stocks are still in beta free version. So if you're interested, make sure to check this out. We updated recently a lot of other charts as well, like AMD 19 hours back here. Also, maybe still some interesting rebound is happening that is telling us that maybe here the bull run will remain in the cards. But again, we have a very important, as you know, day in front of us. So make sure to check this out if you're interested in US single stocks. If you want more of our analysis, then certainly look for our plans. We have special offer. If you missed Black Friday sale and Cyber Monday, and you're still not sure if you would join our services, look at this offer. You get all of the new clients will get first month for only 20 euros. So if you're interested just to explore our services, I think that's the best offer you can get, because maybe it's just like a 7-day trial is not enough. Maybe you want some more time, and that's, I think it's ideal chance to check this out. So traders, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for supporting my work. I will definitely give you some more updates next week, because I will be most likely offline a lot of times this week. So but tomorrow, of course, I will keep an eye on the markets, and you should as well. So please subscribe to our channel, press a like, and talk to you soon. Bye.